Good girl, good girl. The time is here. We're into the third and final stage in the Eagle Canine Academy AKC Canine Good Citizen Program, distractions and problem solving. This is the meat and potatoes of Canine Good Citizen. Getting your dog to work well around other people, around other dogs, around common distractions. We've taken Nola to the park to see how she'll be around when other people are walking, there are people are exercising, running, there's people walking their dogs, there's little kids being pushed on strollers, there was kids playing soccer in the field. All these distractions to get a real world feel of how your dog was going to respond in a real world environment such as that. Nola did a fantastic job of staying by my side. Other dogs barked and wanted to get to Nola, but Nola kept her discipline and stayed at my side and followed my lead. Everything revolves around the 4 key principles that I've stressed throughout the video: calm, patience, assertiveness, and consistency. If you find yourself getting anxious or frustrated, all you're doing is passing that emotion down to your dog, and your dog is going to mimic that emotion, and you're not going to get anything accomplished. And you're not going to be able to think in order to get yourself through that, whatever situation it is that you're in. With the cones in the room that you see here, I just want to show you a simulated crowded environment and how to properly walk your dog if you're going to walk your dog down the street in your neighborhood, or if you were to go to a park like we did and walk your dog. Heel. Anytime you're walking your dog down the street and you see other people or other dogs, you always want to be the buffer between your dog and that other person or that other dog. Let's say this was the other person or the other dog. You never want to let your dog be on the inside where a possible contact can be made between your dog and that other person, or your dog and that other dog. It's a sure sign that we don't know what could happen. And maybe nothing would happen, but we don't want to take that chance. So we always want to be that buffer. So you always want to make sure that you're the buffer in between the other person or the other dog. And we hope that the other person is responsible enough to keep their dog under control so that they can't get to your dog. Now, if you're walking down the street in your neighborhood and you want to talk to a friend of yours, sit, stay. Now we can talk to our friend. We got our dog at a sit, stay. We're not fighting a leash. If your dog starts getting anxious and starts getting up and moving around, put your dog back to a sit, stay, and just step on the leash. Now if the dog gets up and starts moving around, he can't go nowhere. He's just stuck in that little area that he has next to your foot. More than likely, he's going to eventually go into a down position and stay in a down. And now you can talk to your neighbor and have a good conversation without fighting with a leash. Heel. Good boy. Good boy. So remember, we always want to be that buffer. We never want to let your dog get in between there. Good boy. Good boy. Sit. Moving on to our next exercise. No, leave it. I'm throwing treats on the floor. The idea behind this exercise is anything that's on the floor is off limits to your dog unless you give your dog permission to reach down and pick it up. We don't want to take your dog for a walk and have him sniffing every little thing that's on the side of the road and putting that in his mouth. We don't know what kind of poisons there are out there. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Stay. We don't know what kind of poisons are out there, so we don't want your dog doing that. It's the same thing in your home. You don't want to be working on a raw piece of meat on your countertop drop a piece on the floor and your dog goes charging for it, puts it in his mouth and takes a chance of getting sick. So your dog needs to learn the proper skill in order to not go after after the things on the road or the things in your house. So in this instance, the command is leave it. Heel. Leave it. No, leave it. Good boy. Good girl. Good girl. Heel. Good girl. Leave it. No, leave it. Every time she reaches down to go pick it up, I'm going to give her a correction. No, leave it. Good girl. Heel. No, leave it. After a while, she's going to get the idea that, hey, every time I reach down, he's going to correct me. So he's going to, now he walks right past it. He wants to reach down and take it, but he knows he's going to get corrected, so why bother? Heel. Sit. Stay. Down. Nope. Sit. Down. Stay. Now you would never take that trash that's on the side of the road or that raw piece of meat and tempt your dog with it. But for the sake of this exercise, I'm going to tempt your dog with the treats. No, leave it. Leave it. Leave it. No, leave it. Good boy, good boy. Leave it. Good boy. Leave it. No, leave it. He really wants to go for it. And if I give him enough time, he will go for it. The more we practice this exercise, the better he's going to get at it, and the less he's going to want to go after the treats. Leave it. Now he just decided, okay, I'm going to just leave it alone. If I give him enough time, it's not to say that he's not going to try to sneak it, but he's leaving it alone right now. So this is exactly what we're looking for. This is not a skill that once the dog learns it, he's got it, and you never have to worry about it again. This is a skill where if you don't practice it on a routine basis, your dog's not going to be efficient in this type of behavior. So you need to practice this skill 2 or 3 times a week. Take treats and spread them out throughout the house and walk your dog around the house and then tempt him with it. And the more you practice that, the better he's going to be at it and the less likely he's going to be to go after that raw piece of food that falls on the floor or that trash that's on the side of the road, no matter how tempting it is. Good boy. Sit. Come on. Come on, boy. Sit. Good boy. Stay. Now, sit. Now, if I want to give him the treat, I can give him the treat now. But I'm not giving him the treat just to give him the treat. Everything we do now is an opportunity to either teach your dog something new or to reinforce something your dog has already learned. In this case, we want to teach your dog to only take food out of our left hand. So I'm going to offer him the treat out of my right hand. No. No. Hey, baby. If he goes for it, no, leave it. Good boy. I'll even try to fake him out. Good, no, leave it. Leave it. Good boy. Now I'll make the switch over to my left hand. Easy. Good boy. And just like that, as gentle as he took it out of my hand, that's how I want him to take it out of my hand. If he was to lunge for it, I would have pulled back and said, no, easy, until he took it nice and gently like he just did. So we'll go through that one more time once he finishes the first treat. So, sit. Good boy. Offer out of the Out of the right hand. No, leave it. This gives us the opportunity to reinforce our leadership skills, to make us, to seal our position as the alpha or leader of the pack. Leave it. We're reinforcing using the no command. And we're poison proofing our dog in a way. Most people are right-handed. They're gonna try to give your dog a treat out of the right hand. The more you practice this exercise, the less likely it is going to be that your dog will take a treat out of that right hand. Good boy, good boy, good boy. What we're going to do now is we're going to reset the room. We're going to bring some dogs out and show you how to get your dog to respond well when there's other dogs in the room, in an extreme environment, when there's other dogs in the area. Good boy, good boy. Let's go reset the room. Good boy. Go. Come on. Sit. Good boy. Okay, as you can see, we've reset the room. No, sit, stay. In this type of environment, you see we have other dogs in the area. I have Sky over here. We have Ace, our brown dog, over here. Tan dog is Cece. And we have Benjamin running free, our German Shepherd. In an environment like this, it's not necessary that we have a perfectly working dog, although that is an ultimate goal. If we have that, that's a bonus. But we want to have a dog that we can keep in control in an environment like this. If you were to go for a walk down the street and there was loose dogs, or there was dogs tied up in the yards on your walk down the street, or if you were to go to a dog park, they're never going to turn around and take your dog off leash and say, go have a great time. We don't know what kind of dogs these other dogs are. We don't know if there's going to be an overly playful dog that's going to intimidate your dog, or if there's going to be an aggressive dog that's going to be a danger to your dog, a safety risk. So what we want to do is we want to keep your dog on leash and test the situations out first before allowing your dog off leash. So we're going to walk up to the dogs over here and give your dog a chance to sniff and smell and get a feel for what your dog's reaction is going to be and what the other dog's reactions are going to be. You might not get any reaction at all, or you might get a growl, just like that. That dog was just saying, "Hey, I don't want to be messed with." So, when there's a situation like that, the last thing we want to do is start getting anxious and start grabbing the leash tight and getting all nervous, because when we do that, all we're doing is doing what? We're transferring that emotion over to our dog. Our dog may go into a self-protection mode, and the likelihood of a fight will only escalate as a result of that. If we remain calm, patient, assertive, and consistent, and follow those 4 keys of leadership, we can think our way and get out to safety. So, if we get a dog that growls, and we think our dog is in danger, we can turn around and back ourselves out to safety. We never want to take our eyes off of a dog that's growling, but we can get our dog to safety. Good boy. We have no control over what the other dogs are going to do, but the more calm and controlled we are, the more we can keep control of the situation and hopefully have a good outcome as a result of it. Come on. Good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy. And as you can see, Nola gets along great with all these dogs. He acts like a big sister. She acts like a big sister to them. Good girl. Now we see we have a safe situation for our dog. If we're at a dog park and we wanted to let our dog loose now, now we know that we have a safe situation. So we can turn around and take the leash off of our dog and let her go and have a good time. Good girl. Good girl. Go have a good time. Good girl. The Eagle Canine Academy AKC Canine Good Citizen program is now complete for Nola. The rest is now up to you. You only get out of Nola what you put into her, so make sure you practice every day for a minimum of 15 minutes. More if you can, but 15 minutes at a minimum. Make sure you're practicing using those 4 keys of leadership that I have stressed throughout the video: calm, patience, assertiveness, and consistency. Try not to get frustrated and anxious. Take your time, and most importantly, have fun with your dog. If you run into any issues with Nola, whether it's she stops listening to commands or develops a behavior that you're just not sure about, don't hesitate to give us a call. It is easier to fix a bad behavior than it is to fix a bad habit. So don't wait for that bad behavior to turn into a bad habit because you weren't sure whether or not to give us a call. We are your resource, as Nola is now a member of our Eagle Canine family. My name is Tom Hunt, and as a master trainer for Eagle Canine Academy, it has been my honor and pleasure to be your trainer for Nola, and I wish you the best of luck. Good boy, Nola. A good girl, Nola. Good girl. Now it's time for you to go and be a great companion for your family. Good girl. Good girl.